okay, so okay, so now so this is basically the task that you design the unit test plan, okay, for testing the features specified in the SRS document. Okay, now for this you can refer to the IEEE 829 standard. So I have that standard here. I've also uploaded it. Okay. Yeah, so this is the standard, okay? And then you also have to design the test cases corresponding to the test plan, okay? And then you should submit the test plan in a PDF format, okay? And you have to submit the test cases in a separate file, okay? So it could be like a data file or a TXT file. And then you have to submit a zip file containing both the files, okay? So is this, so I hope the task is clear, okay? So now, what are the fields in the test plan? Okay. So the first field is test plan identifier. So you have to have a unique identifier. You can generate something. So you can use your, you can use your, let's say, your roll number, and then course. There is a software engineering course. Okay. So the course ID followed by the roll number, followed by, let's say, the year, and then let's say 1 2 3 4, like that. So let's say you are giving 10 test plans, okay. uh, then you can give the identifier accordingly, okay. And there are references. Of course, you will refer to the SRS documents and any other document that you may want to refer to. Okay. Introduction basically it talks about what is it that you are going to test. By the way, okay. So before I go about with the format, okay. Um, I mean, so see all this. So this is actually somewhat early, because in your theory class this will be covered, and after that you will be able to completely understand the whole testing process. Okay, but what I want to mention here, I mean, at a broad level, there are many types of testing. At a broad level, you might know these terms. Just I'm mentioning the terms. So unit testing is basically testing of the features of a software. Okay, so is this clear? Okay, so unit testing is the testing of individual features of the software. So each software may have many different features, and these features somehow they are provided. So they are provided either in terms of, let's say, some function. Typically it will be some function, but it can also be some class, some abstract, UDT, user defined data type that you're providing. Okay, something. Okay. So or there is the whole other set of features, which is like it could be also in terms of UI, some sort of a UI element. Okay, so these are all features. Okay. um, so you want, so what you are writing here is the test plan for testing each and every feature. So there is a one test plan for each and every feature. Okay. Uh, this portion should first be very clear. Okay. What you do, so there is another kind of testing which is called the system integration testing. Okay, so that testing here we will not ask for, but that is when you try to integrate the overall system, how it works. Okay, is this clear? Okay, okay. So I see that there are some other rooms people are starting. I don't know why. I think people are confused or something. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Yeah, this is very. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now so now you understand what it is. So introduction basically is the is the purpose of this test plan and what is it that you are going to test. Okay. Then number 4 is test item. So this basically specifies the feature that you are testing here. Okay. Then there are these software risk issues. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So basically, here you mention what are the issues you think can happen with this particular test item. Okay. Um, Features to be tested. Okay, so for this particular test item, what are the features you are testing? Okay, features not to be tested. Okay, and then approach. Okay, so in this case, it will be a unit testing approach that you are doing. Okay, then item pass fail criteria. You have to provide the pass fail criteria for the particular test. Okay, suspension criteria and resumption requirement. Okay. Then test deliverables is basically, what are the deliverables of this particular test plan? Okay, so what is the outcome of this particular test plan? Okay, and then these are some of the things remaining. These are some of the things. I mean, not everything you need to populate, like remaining test tasks, environmental needs again. So this is like for the testing process to happen, what are the environments you should set up? Okay, staffing and training needs. Okay, sometimes your testing may involve some people doing some activities sitting on the computer. Okay, so those needs can be mentioned here. So for example, if you are testing some GUI or something, there may be some test engineers who will actually execute certain things to test the program. Okay, so that is this. Okay, responsibilities schedule. Okay, these are again administrative things you need not talking about, you need not discuss about. So I think the last few are kind of administrative. Okay, you need not worry about this. Basically, the key thing that you should provide is this. Yeah, so in this document everything is provided. Yeah, so test items. So you should provide this test item. Okay, software risks. Again, what are the risks you think? You know. What are the risks if this particular software fails? Okay, so that is the key idea here. These are the main things. Okay, features to be tested, features not to be tested. Okay, approach. Okay, and pass fail criteria. Okay, and possibly the suspension and resumption criteria also. Okay. So these are the things you will have to provide. So you can just take a look at this. Okay, and of course, you will have you will understand more once testing is done in the theory class. Okay, and at that point in time, you can also you can ask questions or something. Okay, is there any question or comment? Yes, so no question, no question. Okay, so I just want some show of hands. Okay, how is so how many of you have started working on the project? Can you raise your hands? Nobody? Can I?
You mean the SRS document or the project itself?
Yeah, yeah, that was my next question, that how are you guys approaching the whole problem? How are you guys working on the project and the SRS document? I mean, so the project has many portions, right? So there are two things you have to think. Like one is what you have to submit. So for example, the first assignment, you have to submit the SRS document. And second, but that SRS documents is finally towards your, you have to develop the software and you have to submit the software. Okay. Uh, so are you guys first developing the software and then you want to do the SRS document? How many are thinking about prototyping the software first? Can you raise your hands, please?
Sir, I think it will be better to make it first.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. So that's why obviously those who are raising their hands, they think that approach is better. So I just want to know how many are thinking like that. Okay. See, yeah, okay. Okay. So,
Sir, can we do a poll on this because half the class is not in the meet?
why? Oh, okay, because there are only 92.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that poll is precisely what we are doing. So, okay, so roughly 20 out of 92 are thinking it is better to start developing the software initially. Okay, okay, please lower your hands. Okay, I just want to know how many of you have not. Okay, anyway, that forget. So now, how many think that they want to first write the requirements and then do the software design and then do the coding? Okay, two people definitely think. Any other person?
Sir, can you repeat again?
Okay, so here is the question was, how will you approach the project, right? So will you, so some people, they want to first write the program, okay? And then whatever they have been able to implement, they want to write it in the SRS document, and they want to yeah, so that's the approach. Like first create the program, then create all the necessary documents that are going to be submitted. Okay. The other approach is first create the document, okay, and then try to code it up. And there is a third approach also, which is, I think in today's theory class, Professor PPD was also saying that you iterate. Okay, so you first create a small set of requirements, you code them up. Okay, then you again come back, you change the SRS document again, then again you code it up, and so on and so forth. Okay. So how many want to take this third approach, where you first, so you create the SRS document anyway, okay, and you write one or two, functional specifications. You go ahead and code up those things, okay, and okay, you code up those things, and then again you come back and you write more specifications, and again you code it up, and so on and so forth. So how many think this is the better way? Okay, 17, 18. Okay, so it right? So how many are? Oh, okay, 23, 24 already. Okay. Okay, 23. So I see that roughly it is a tie between these two approaches, and very few people they want to first develop. So I think even those who want to first develop SRS, they may want to in parallelly start coding it up. Okay. So yeah, so it really depends, uh, but I would say that, or at least what the software engineering experts say is that it is the iterative approach is the best approach. So you start, so what you do is you start with a small set of requirements. Okay, you do the corresponding design, you code it up, and then go back and then add requirements. Okay, then again do the design. So you may have to modify the design if you add a requirement which is not compatible with your current design. Okay, and then you code up the design. Okay, so at the end of it you will land up with the requirements, the design, and the of course the prototype software. Okay. Um, does it make sense? Anybody has any questions or comments? So what I'm very worried about is that more than half the class did not raise their hand at all. So now those who did not raise their hand, I just want to ask them, what is the reason? Are they doing something else, or they are proposing something else? So total about 40 to 50 people raised their hands. Let's say 50. And there are 94 people in the class. So what about the rest 44 people? Yeah, so the other 44 people, can you please raise your hands? Those who did not raise their hands in any of the above cases, can you please raise your hands? So Vemuri Harsha, is it you have something to say?
No, sir.
Okay, so can those who did not raise their hands in the first two cases, can you please raise your hands? I just want to see who did not raise their hands in the first two cases. Yes, so anything you want? Okay. Okay, so they are not even raising their hands in this case. So I don't know what to do. Okay. Okay, anyway, so other than this, any other question or comment?
Sir, from the next week, the lab classes will be online as it used to be, right?
Yes, so actually we don't have clarity on where they will be held. Okay, so once we have clarity, we will communicate it to you. Okay, so we don't know where these. So if the physical classes are to be held, where and how they are to be held, that clarity we don't have. Okay. So we will just share. So we have seen this information that physical classes has to be held, but we don't know when and where. Okay, so
yeah, I think there are meetings to be held today, tomorrow. That will be a little clear, and we will inform you about like where, because there are, I don't really know. I mean, because the exams, it was said that it will be fully offline, but this time the labs will be hybrid. So whether we have that much of infrastructure to make it hybrid also, that I'm not sure. So I mean, we all are not sure. So things, I mean, discussions are going on. So we'll update you as we get any update. Another thing is the logistics about evaluation of these assignments, project related assignments. So I think if you remember last week, we figured out that okay, different students from these evaluating TA groups, they are forming different teams. So what we said that okay, ignore this assignment 5, 6, 7 evaluation that is given in the Moodle. So we have now given a new document which is in Moodle. Let me see what is the name of it. Just give me a second. Yeah, it is said evaluation plan for assignment 5 onwards. So there you see the mentor TA. So basically the projects that are under WACE, basically where WACE is mentor TA, assignment 5, that is this requirement specification, it will be evaluated by WACE himself, and then next time assignment 6 will be evaluated by Soumi, and 7 will be by Tejendra. Similarly, Soumi's one assignment 5 will be checked by Soumi, then Tejendra and Wes, and so on. So this is how things will go ahead. You will be able to, I mean, you should be able to see this plan in Moodle itself. Okay, so that was one logistics related announcement. Any questions on this part?
Sir, mentor TA means the TA for the project, right? Which has been assigned in that document.
Yes, yes, exactly. Okay, so yeah, go ahead.
Sir, after that small poll, will anything be changed, or we have to proceed as directed before?
I don't really know. So Sorangsudha, is there any change on that?
sorry, but I didn't get the question. Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sir, after you were talking about three options, right? The first was to just go as directed. The second was that we will make a prototype first, then the SRS, and the third was iterating it. So, what we are will there be any change
Will there be any change in what?
in the evaluation? Because originally we have to make SRS first.
No. But yeah, that's why I'm saying that I'm somewhat worried that you guys are not thinking so much about the assignment. See, the thing is that you have to submit the SRS document on the submission deadline. So there is a submission deadline in 2 weeks, I think, in the coming week itself, right? So, or I don't
Sir,
remember.
next week. Next week.
Next week.
So basically, at that time, you have to submit the SRS document. Okay. So ideally, what you should do, you should start with a small SRS document, implement those features. Okay. Then increase the number of features that you are adding to the SRS document, okay, and so on and so forth, okay, and try to make at least the SRS document, complete before the deadline. Then you submit the SRS document. It is still with you, okay. SRS document and actually both. So actually we are only talking about SRS document, but you have to submit actually three things: SRS document, the use case diagram, and the class diagram. So if you remember, the use case diagram is basically how the the user interacts with the program, right? So what are the inputs and the outputs, and basically the different preconditions, then inputs and the corresponding response, okay? So these are use cases, okay? And then you have to prepare the class diagram. The class diagram is basically your software design, okay? So if you remember today in the theory class, what Professor PPD was saying is that you have to design this. So you are designing these classes, right? So designing classes is one thing, but when you have a large project, okay, you will have many different classes, okay, and all these classes will have interactions with each, okay. So the class diagram basically captures the classes and how these classes interact with each other. What is the relationship between these classes, okay? So that diagram also you have to submit, okay? So basically, if you are so it depends on your personal capability also, okay? So if it is that even without writing a single line of code, okay, if you can create all these three, then it is fine, but it is almost impossible, okay? So it's not possible to do that, okay? So what you should plan for is creating all these three in iteration or in connection with the actual prototype that you are developing, which is compliant with this. Because remember, you have to submit the final prototype in the end, okay? But it will be judged against what is the requirements, what fraction of the requirements you have implemented, okay? What are the requirements you have put forward in the first place? And of course, that evaluation goes into evaluation of the of assignment 5, right? Yeah, so the first project assignment 5, okay? But then in the end, you will be evaluated on what fraction of these requirements requirement specifications you have been able to implement, okay? Okay, and same thing with testing, okay? So when you are doing, for example, writing test cases, okay, yeah, so basically when you are developing the software, designing and developing the software, you will come across the test cases. So I would I mean, a good way to work will be that even though we are asking for you to like first give the SRS and then the test cases and then finally submit the implementation, but all the while you should start doing the implementation as you develop these things, okay? Otherwise you will be in a big mess, okay? So the reason the implementation comes last is simply because what may happen is you may want to you may want to change things like so basically implementation takes some time, okay? There may be system small debugging steps which are remaining, or this kind of things, okay? So those things will happen last, okay? Or during the implementation you may also add some new features or add different ways of implementing the features you have already given in the SRS diagram, SRS document or something like that, okay? Yeah, so I hope this is clear, okay? the suggestion. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Sir, I had a suggestion.
Yes.
Suppose we could make a public Excel a public GDoc where all of the teams would paste their repo link to their project and another link to their SRS document, and they would regularly update the document and the repo. So that could work better, I think.
No, do it within the group, right? So
Yes, sir.
within,
In the group, I am saying
yes.
all the groups would paste their repo link and the SRS document link.
No,
And that
some group may not want to. So it's a decision you have to take within the group.
And that might be a problem for the evaluation also, because say evaluation is done, say your deadline is next week, and let's say within 2 days the evaluation is done. Then even if you change it, yeah, it might affect your later project goals, milestones, but it will not affect your requirement specification. Now, suppose for some group, actually the evaluation is done 7 days after this. Then you will come and say that, okay, this is not fair. Do you want to go ahead with that? If you are fine, we can.
Sir, I don't know if it's fine with everyone else. No idea about that.
Yeah, so let us stick to what the standard practice is, okay?
Yeah. So because it's within the team, you can coordinate. Within the group, you can coordinate. Huh? So that is fine. But you should not dictate what other groups want to do. So other groups may or may not want to do that. Any other questions? So I hope all of you are starting to, because it may seem like it is very easy to lose time in this project. Okay, so you should think about creating, and your mentors have been assigned, so you should also talk to your mentors about this. Okay, any question? I think, yeah, so there are no more questions. So, yeah, if there are any questions, I mean, you can always, of course, ask in the chat or something. Okay.
So I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So apart from functional completeness, as in like what other metrics is the project going to be graded on? Like apart from providing all the functionality as requested, is there any other metric that we have to follow?
See, there are 4 occasions of grading that will happen. The project will not be graded once. Okay, it will be graded 4 times. Okay. First, it will be graded with assignment 5. Okay. There, if you see, it is already written what is the criteria and what is the weightage. Okay. Similarly, assignment 6 and assignment 7. Okay. These will be the gradings which will be done by the TAs. Okay. So this is one part. Okay. And then there will be a final presentation. Okay, final project presentation and demo which you will give. Okay, that will be graded by us and also the TAs. Okay, so so during that we will tell you what is the format of the presentation and what is the weightage and etc. Okay, so that will be the grade for the final project presentation. Clear?
Yeah, that's clear, sir. But what's inside the, like, what do you expect from the projects themselves, apart from being able to provide the functionality that you requested?
Okay. So that is a very high level question actually. So at a very high level, what do we require from the project, right? So what is the purpose of the project? The purpose of the project is that you sort of learn to implement the reasonably complex software development project following the software engineering guidelines and development procedure and everything, right? So first part is that you should be able to come up with a good requirement specification document, and a good design document. So this is the first thing you will do when you work as a software engineer, let's say in some company. Okay, so these are the things you will be asked to do. Okay, then the second part of it is you will be asked to create these testing documents, okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, so a software engineering project requires many skills. Okay, and throughout this project we want to impart all those skills to you. So that is the purpose of the project. Okay, so there is no, if you try to say, sir, is the feature complete or feature richness the main criterion? Yes. Okay, so because so how will that get reflected, right? Because so in the final presentation, okay, you will be able to give a very nice demonstration. Okay, but along with that, also the other criterion will be that how user friendly it is. So we strongly recommend that you use a GUI based interface which is user friendly. Okay, now how intuitive is the interface? Is the interface very intuitive? That is one other metric. Okay, in the last assignment, you will see that, for example, how well documented is your code. So the code that you submit, okay, a major part of that will be how well documented it is. Okay, so that is another metric. Okay, so it's a combination of all these metrics. Okay, so features, and then of course when you give the demo, okay, how efficient is the demo? That is another metric, for example. So it should not be that your demo is hanging, or even for retrieving just one entry it is taking 5 minutes or something like that. Then you will lose marks there. So all these things combined will be graded during the presentation and the demo. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. But apart from that, there's also other issues with regards to offline classes and offline exams. So could you clarify what we're going to do regarding that?
The question is not clear to me.
So there, a lot of people have issues with what's going to happen in offline classes and the end semester exams. So what are we going to do? Are we going to have an offline evaluation / presentation for engineering lab, software engineering lab?
Okay. So what you are asking is, will you be asked to give the demo? I mean, but how does that matter really? Because your software.
Yeah, I think as for 5, 6, and 7, it will not matter. It's that you are giving demos or your sort of sessions with the TAs for evaluation. That was online. This will be offline in the lab computer, or I mean, you can bring your own laptop and show it. Nothing changes there. For the presentation part, it might be, again I am quoting, it might be that you have to basically present in front of us physically. So last time what happened in online mode is that you had to present remotely. This time you have to present physically. Nothing else, nothing will change. Okay.
Yeah, I hope that clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, that you from your side, you should prepare the software, you should prepare the document, and you should prepare the presentation. So presentation instructions will go to you. It will be a short presentation, not very long presentation. I hope this is clear.
Yes, sir. It's clear.
In that case, the TAs, you can start evaluating the leftover ones, right? So this is a good time. You will have at least 2 to 2.5 hours try to complete as much as you can in your respective TA rooms. Okay, students who actually need the evaluation to be done, you can just contact your TAs. You can just join the TA room. Okay, I mean, you may leave this room in that case.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Tell me.
During the Python DS test, I was a bit second